DiJonai Carrington stabbing Caitlin Clark in the eye, intentionally, in my view, with her fingernail. Surely the corporate media that cares so much about racial equity and racial justice is going to be all over this. And so I just assume that all the social justice, racial justice warrior people would be up in arms and be like, hey, we got to call balls and strikes here. Caitlin Clark has made this league relevant, and this deranged bigot, and I say that in all sincerity.
11 points. DiJonai Carrington poked Caitlin Clark in the eye, and that was the only point she scored. Everyone is now curious about the whereabouts of WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. Furthermore, why doesn't she discuss this? Let's discuss what transpired. Imagine this. As the WNBA Finals begin, all eyes will be on Caitlin Clark. Normally, she drops a ton of money left and right, but all of a sudden, whoa, Carrington touches Clark's eye with his finger. It's similar to witnessing a superhero's abilities vanish. In an instant, Clark transforms from unstoppable to struggling. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. What could be more absurd? The league's silence. In all of this, where is Cathy Engelbert? There is no sign of the WNBA commissioner. It seems as though she just disappeared, leaving one of the league's biggest stars battered on the court. Hold on though, we're only getting started. Jason Whitlock said something about this whole mess that you won't believe. Whitlock's remarks are stirring things up.
Caitlin Clark was assaulted yesterday in her very first playoff game in the WNBA. We've seen the animus directed at Caitlin Clark all year. Ever be the biggest star in American sports was assaulted 2 minutes into the game on a dirty play with one of these women with these long fake fingernails that stabbed her in the eye. But damn it, in the first 2 minutes of this game, this DiJonai Carrington stabbed Caitlin Clark with her fingernails right in the eye.
But what's really grabbing attention is what we're not hearing. After a buzzer beater, the WNBA front office has become as silent as a packed arena. Is there any benefit to the utter silence? And if so, why is it occurring? The WNBA Commissioner, Cathy Engelbert, now comes on. She is in charge of making decisions for the league and ensuring that everything goes according to plan. But as of now, it appears as though she has vanished from view while one of her biggest stars is being physically assaulted on the court. You would think the league would be all over it when a player was poked in the eye, but no. Crickets from WNBA HQ, that is. I can assure you that the fans are not pleased with this. They can't stop scratching their heads over Engelbert's silence regarding what transpired between Carrington and Clark.
With no whistle. Now there's nothing Indiana.
And it's not just the supporters. Commentators on sports are interjecting, questioning where in the world the league has responded. Carrington's suspension is being demanded by many, who use phrases like intentionally poking someone in the eye is completely garbage. Still, nothing from the highest levels. Not only is this silence awkward, but it's beginning to reflect poorly on the WNBA. Supporters are questioning whether the league even gives a damn about the safety of its players. What does it say about their treatment of the other players, after all, if they can't even defend their rising stars? Consider it, Caitlin Clark isn't your average athlete. She is the WNBA's newest face, the one that everyone is talking about. And the league's response, now that she's being physically assaulted on the court? Radio silence. They appear to be acting as though nothing occurred. The problem is that you can't just ignore things like this and hope they go away in the modern world. People discussing the incident on social media are exploding. Everybody has an opinion, and the majority of them are not very positive for the WNBA at the moment. Furthermore, this incident is not the only one. Larger questions are beginning to be asked by fans. For example, what occurs when a player is injured again? Then, will the league speak up, or will they remain silent once more? People are starting to lose faith in the WNBA's ability to handle these circumstances. One cannot help but wonder what goes on behind the scenes. Is Engelbert attempting to decide what would be a suitable response? Is the league hoping that everyone will simply forget about it if they remain silent for a long enough period of time? It's not looking good in either case. The WNBA's situation worsens the longer this silence persists. They should be expanding the sport and igniting interest in women's basketball among more people. But if people believe they don't care about their own players, how can they accomplish that? Nor is it limited to Caitlin Clark. Every player in the league is impacted by this. What does that tell them about their own safety on the court if they witness the commissioner remaining silent when a celebrity is roughed up? And let's face it, this is more than just a little altercation. A puncture to the eye can be dangerous. It may have an impact on a player's vision, shooting, and overall performance. That's significant for someone like Clark, who is renowned for her accurate shooting. Here is the WNBA's opportunity to demonstrate that player safety is important to them. They could make a strong statement about how unacceptable this type of behavior is. However, they're choosing to let the quiet speak for itself, and that silence is saying all the wrong things right now. Jason Whitlock steals the show just when you thought the WNBA couldn't get any hotter.
The fact that the Michael Jordan of the WNBA was assaulted has a black eye during the second half of the game because DiJonai Carrington stabbed her with her fingernails in the eye. DiJonai has a history with Caitlin Clark, like many of these girls in the WNBA, but she's at the top of the list along with Kennedy Carter in Chicago and Angel Reese. That's not a natural act of you contest a shot and then all of a sudden your hand turns downwards and straight into the eye of the biggest star in the WNBA.
He's enraged, not just angry. Furthermore, he's drawing an analogy between this episode and a more significant issue in women's basketball that no one anticipated. Whitlock, what is he seeing that the others have vanished? Jason Whitlock does not mince words. Known for his audacious observations, this sportscaster is dominating the WNBA like never before. Whitlock is discussing more than simply a game when he speaks about the direction that women's basketball is taking. What then is energizing Whitlock so much? The incident involving Caitlin Clark's eye poke is not the only one. It has to do with the way the WNBA is managing the entire thing, or better yet, failing to handle it. Whitlock is not holding back when he criticizes the league for remaining silent. This is the crazy part. Whitlock likens Michael Jordan to Caitlin Clark. Yes, you did indeed hear that. He is arguing that Clark is the WNBA's equivalent of Michael Jordan. Furthermore, he fears that her entire career may have been ruined by this eye-poking incident. Whitlock believes this to be extremely serious. Imagine if Jordan had been killed when he was at his best. But Whitlock is pursuing more than just one league. He has some harsh words to say about ESPN as well. One would think that it would make headlines if a famous athlete was attacked on the court. Whitlock claims that ESPN hardly touched on it in their post-game analysis. Where's the mention of the fact that the WNBA's Michael Jordan was assaulted, is the question he poses, one that we are all wondering. And here's the thing. Whitlock claims that DiJonai Carrington and Clark have previously engaged in physical altercations.
Did you intend to hit her in the eye? And if so, could you just, or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that front?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the type of player that I am. So yeah.
Did you and Marina kind of laugh about it afterwards? It looked like there was later on in the game they caught you guys laughing about it.
No, I just told you I didn't even know I hit her, so I didn't know I hit her actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball and I guess I followed through and I hit her, so obviously it's never intentional.
He is discussing a pattern of violent conduct. He seems to be making connections between dots that no one else is. Is this the only way the game is played, or is there another aspect to it? Whitlock is demanding action in addition to his usual whining. For Game 2, he wants Carrington to be suspended. He is arguing that the WNBA must act quickly to resolve this. It appears as though he is pressing the league to demonstrate their concern for its players. Know what's absurd? Whitlock is expressing what many fans are thinking, so his remarks are powerful. Concerns regarding player safety are present. They want to know why the league isn't taking more steps to safeguard its players. Whitlock is also voicing all of those worries. The problem is that Whitlock's perspective goes beyond simple critique. It's as if the league as a whole has been awakened. He's bringing attention to problems that affect more than a single game or player. He is discussing the WNBA's prospects and their approach to difficult circumstances. Consider it. The WNBA must safeguard its stars if it hopes to expand. They must demonstrate to the public their seriousness about player safety. Furthermore, Whitlock claims that they are currently making major mistakes. It's no longer just about Caitlin Clark. Every player in the league is involved. The viewers who tune in to watch their favorite players are the main focus. It also has to do with the overall future of women's basketball. Whitlock seems to be challenging the WNBA with her remarks. In essence, what he's saying is, step up or step aside. His demands have the potential to completely alter the league's operations, and it's impossible to dispute that he's got people talking, whether or not you agree with him. Hold on. Whitlock's perspective is merely the beginning. The WNBA is in for a storm, and it's much bigger than any one commentator's view. Are you prepared to do this? The league's next move has the potential to alter everything. And by everything, I mean this. This curious incident? It's no longer just about Caitlin Clark. The whole WNBA is being rattled by it. We are discussing the future of women's basketball, league integrity, and player safety. People, this is huge. Fans aren't just sitting back, they're fired up. They are requesting that something be done. There are demands for improved player safety, harsher sanctions, and the whole 9 yards. Some even argue that these incidents should be handled by a special committee or a new commissioner. This is becoming really serious. This is where things get really interesting, though. One league or one sport is no longer the only focus of this. The physicality of women's basketball is beginning to be compared to that of men's sports. They are posing challenging queries. Does the current standard provide enough security for players? Are there things that happen in the WNBA that would never be tolerated in the NBA? Consider it. You can imagine the commotion that would ensue if this occurred in the NBA. Fines, suspensions, and possibly even modifications to the rules. So why should the WNBA experience be any different? The fans are asking for that, and they have a valid concern. Now, the WNBA is at a fork in the road. They need to make a decision about how to handle this. Additionally, whatever they decide to do will determine how the league develops going forward. We're talking about putting in place precise rules and possibly harsher punishments for acts of violence in court. It's all about keeping the game equitable and safeguarding the players. However, it goes beyond punishment. It also involves prevention. How can we prevent these occurrences from occurring initially? Right now, that is the million-dollar question. To capture these moments in real time, some are proposing better review procedures, additional referees on the court, or even technological solutions. What's wild, you know? This might be the WNBA's pivotal moment. Yes, there was just one incident at first, but it's igniting a discussion about player safety and fair play. The league appears to be developing before our very eyes. Furthermore, it's not just about the players, let's be honest. It also concerns the fans. Viewers tune in to watch their idols compete, not to witness cheap shots take them out. The league must demonstrate that maintaining the integrity and fairness of the game is important to its continued expansion. This transcends basketball. Respect is at issue, showing reverence towards the players, the game, and the supporters. Here is the WNBA's opportunity to create a new benchmark for all sports, not just women's basketball.